think one of these days we're gonna get Josh Rybeck in some Lokes and a lowrider hat. Episode number 12, California Girls Wrestling Podcast. Oh, Josh, we are super lucky today. I'm kind of jacked, actually. We have two greats joining us today. We got, of course, Jimmy Bowers filling in for our always absent Mario. He's out at the farmer's market. I think he had something he needed to pick up. And then, of course, we have CIF state champ, UWW Nationals runner-up, Fargo runner-up. I like her a lot. Anie Drury from Westminster High School. So how are you, Ania?
Good. I'm good.
Good. How are you, Jimmy?
I'm fantastic. And now I get to talk with the champ. I'm even better.
Nice. Josh, I hope you're doing good. Josh, you worked like 3 20-hour days this week, didn't you?
Yeah, gotta work while the sun, gotta make hay while the sun shines.
Oh my gosh, yeah, before wrestling season. Yeah. So that's gonna, or the toll really takes on. But we're a little bit behind today, so let's just jump into it as usual. Ania, I hope you're doing good. I hope you're feeling all right. We're gonna start off with you. You're a successful kid, but did you begin with wrestling? Like, what's your background in terms of sports and prior to?
I started with judo, and then my dad transitioned me to. I did pretty well in judo, and then I transitioned to jiu-jitsu when I was like 7 years old, and then I did pretty well in jiu-jitsu. And then when I went to high school, my dad put me in wrestling.
So your dad's the one who's kind of like
directing
the envelope a little bit. Was he a wrestler himself?
No, he didn't. He did Muay Thai and he did Aikido, but nothing like grappling.
Okay, it's kind of interesting that he pushed you that direction, though. Did he just kind of see the importance of it, or?
Yeah, that's what he did. He was like, "Oh, this is something she would be good at," and then put me in.
And your background, like your mom and your dad, like what, like where do they like originate?
Oh, my mom was born in Japan. I was born in Japan too, but my mom's Japanese and my dad's white.
Oh, okay. So they met in Japan?
Yeah, they met in Japan.
Oh, nice. Okay. Go ahead, Josh.
All right. What high school are you currently attending, and what club are you currently wrestling at, or is it the same? What are you doing?
Nah, I wrestle at Westminster High School for my high school team, and I wrestle at Somar for my club team.
Awesome.
Nice. Jimmy, go ahead.
All right. Well, now I know why I liked you a lot, though, because I'm a half-breeder, too. I'm part Japanese, too, so go Japan!
Look at him. Woo! Look at him already just trying to build that bridge.
Hey, man, I'm just saying. All right. So, who are your coaches, Drury? Who are your coaches?
So Ramos is my coach. Des, his daughter, is my coach. And then Brian Vasquez is my coach from Westminster, and Provenzano is from Westminster, is also my coach.
Well, I just got to say they've done a hell of a job, all of them.
Yeah, they do a good job.
Yeah, Coach Vasquez, Coach Pro, they're super good guys. And I met Coach Vasquez at State, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, super cool guy. I know, like, Des liked him a lot. Was like, dude, he's super chill. Like, he's a really cool guy.
He's
yeah, and I even think they like went out later in the night. Like, the group of people all went out and like, hung out.
They did.
So they had a good time. So that's cool. And then with them, like, how's the team structured for you? Like, I don't think there's really a lot of girls on the Westminster team, correct?
Yeah, I'm the only girl. Oh, there's like come and go, but yeah, I'm the only girl.
Consistent girl.
Yeah.
There's what they call those fly-by wrestlers, right? They just come and stay for a little bit and say, all right, thank you, bye.
We're getting some good ones, though.
They think it's cute at first, and Ania gets in there and goes live just like, and then they're like, wait, I thought we were just going to look cute in a uniform. Now I'm actually out.
Hey, you mean she's going like 50% live and they're getting scared?
Yeah, because Anya's not like one of those girls who like makes an example out of somebody. She's
right.
She genuinely wants you to come out, and then she's not one of those girls at all.
What's funny is the connection I have with her coaches is when I was in high school, we used to go over to Fountain Valley when Provenzano was there, and he used to beat up on me. When I was in high school, school, and then also Bryant's dad was one of my high school coaches
Oh, okay.
at Marina.
That
So,
sucks.
yeah.
No, that's funny because it's a typical like OC like group, right? Like everybody kind of wrestles for the same coaches, and
Yeah.
those coaches all kind of like wrestled together too, and it just kind of like the circle of life in Orange County.
Exactly.
It kind of just goes full circle. So who knows, Anya, you may one day be like coaching against Michaela,
I hope so.
as
That'd be fun.
yeah, and then it's just like, oh, all over again, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So back to me. So when did you start competing nationally?
Nationally,
Yeah.
the end of my freshman year, I went to Oklahoma State and I did really, really bad. I did so bad, but that's when I started.
Oh, okay. So you started wrestling as a freshman.
Yeah, I started wrestling as a freshman.
Okay. Then you just had a bad outing that time.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
So because you had a successful freshman year, right? You took second in state.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you probably expected to do. I mean, what was it? What would you say it was that resulted in such a bad result for you?
Well, it was my first time without my like main coach, Coach B or Brian Vasquez. Like
Uh-huh.
I wasn't with him, so I was so nervous. I was
Okay.
super nervous.
And then what happened between your first and your second year? Like how were you able to make those? Like what adjustments did you have to make, or what was different about the trips and all that stuff?
Oh well, like I was just kind of used to it, and I'm like, oh, I actually kind of like belong here. I'm like actually kind of good, so I'm like, oh, well, like I shouldn't be so nervous. Like I'm not, I'm not nothing without my coach, so I got like a little more confident.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, because if I remember correctly, like I was upset, because first like we didn't take you to UW, we didn't take you to Oklahoma, but we went to UWWs, and then you're telling me like you're texting your teammates, and they're like
Yeah,
looking at
not
you
good.
like, oh, don't, you're gonna get this girl next, and watch out. And it was like on
That's so
inside,
scary.
I'm just like, oh, like why are they saying that to you? But you passed it with flying colors. I mean, you did a great job.
Oh, proud.
Um, Jimmy, go ahead and take the next one. Or is it?
All right. So, what are your aspirations that you have for wrestling in your future?
Oh, that's so
What do you
hard.
aspire?
Well, first, like I want to win Fargo next year. I want to win it, and then my senior year, I'm not really sure what I want to do. I think I want to go to Pan Americans and stuff and the world stuff, and then I want to win those.
Nice.
Right on. I
Josh,
like that.
I think I skipped you on accident,
Yeah,
Josh.
no, that's great. What are your highlights? Anya, tell us your highlights of your wrestling career so far, and then also give us some of your highlights of your jiu-jitsu and judo career over the history. Give us those highlights. Let people know what have you accomplished.
Well, I think my like biggest highlight in like wrestling so far is like winning state this year, because it was just like it was an improvement from last year, and I had a lot of pressure to like do better than like second. So I'm really happy that I didn't get second, that I got first. And then from like jiu-jitsu and stuff, I mostly like remember like going against dudes and I will like win, and then those are like my like things that I remember.
Nice. I mean, I think that kind of says how tough our state is too. When Anya could take second at UWW Nationals, take second in Fargo, and still the highlight of her season so far has been to win California State. And I guess the girl too that you knew, a familiar person that she
Yeah.
met her at your tournament, right, Josh?
Yeah, yeah, it was Ling that was
Mm-hmm.
your girl, Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was at our tournament. That was that was a great match, and it just happened to
Yeah.
flop the other way. And that girl's so strong.
She is. She's really good.
I mean, it was like that one was a nail biter.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we actually saw her like a couple weeks before, we saw her at Jimmy's tournament. That was the first time we had saw Lang, and
Yeah.
she took Bowman, dude, to the wire.
To the
And,
end. 1 point win.
yeah, and it was
Bowman beat her by 1.
in overtime, right?
Yep.
Or was at the end? It was at the
No,
end.
it was towards the end. It was right towards the end.
Yeah, and it was just like, whoa, like, and then I'm looking at the brackets, and I'm like, oh god, Anya's wrestling this girl, and she's tough. And I wasn't at the tournament. I wasn't kicked out of that tournament. But I wasn't there. So, but yeah, I saw that, and then we dropped the match, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, we kind of seen her, and then Anya looked really game though. Like she looked like she was like she knew what she needed to do. She didn't look nervous at all. She looked like she was like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to go and do this. So it was good. So let's see here. All right, so go leading into aspirations. I you want to go to college and wrestle, or are you
Yeah,
just,
I want to
yeah?
go to college.
Okay, and then with that, like, what do you think you want to study in college? Like, what are some of the things that you think? I know you're barely going into your junior year and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
what kind of things do you think you might want to study?
that's so hard. I am so confused. I think I like child protective services, stuff like that. I really like policies. I want to do that kind of stuff.
Ooh, it'd be good to be in there and be like a lobbyist or a lawmaker, and kind of
Yeah,
protect
that's what
kids
I'm
and
kind
stuff
of
like that.
interested in. Hmm.
That would be really good. I mean, I think this is a good conversation to have too, because you have a lot of, hopefully, have more college coaches watching these podcasts and gives them an idea of like, hey, you better get your package ready and know what you're going to offer, you know. So that's good. And then, do you know anybody in that field right now that
I have no idea.
is for you? Okay, we'll have to work
Yeah.
on that for you. Josh, you up next?
Yeah. Um, I think we kind of a little bit aspirations and what are your goals for, let's say this year, your junior year, your senior year, and then post, like if you want to go to college wrestle, would you like to try to get on the Olympic ladder? You want to go compete, like let's go even further. Would you like to compete in MMA with your jiu-jitsu background, or you just want to wrestle?
Well, for this year, I want to win Fargo, and then next year, I think I want to go more like international and win some international tournaments. And then after that, like in college, I think I definitely want to be really good. I want to be like top five at least, which I think I can do. And then after that, I have no idea. I feel like if I wanted to do MMA, I would be pretty good at it. Like I think I could do it because of jiu-jitsu and judo. I think I can do it. And then, but like it's something that I'm not that interested in right now.
Okay, fair enough.
Right now it's fun time.
Yeah, wrestling
Yeah.
time.
It's still some goals to accomplish before you start moving on to that direction, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And if you don't have to make money, getting hit, I think that's probably a preferred
yeah,
thing for parents and coaches. Like, yeah, I'd rather
yeah.
you
My
not get
my
hit.
parents don't like that.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's not. Your mom's a sweetheart, by the way. I mean, we don't talk much, but whenever I do see her, she's always super sweet. Like
She's the
your dad's a
best.
super cool guy, like super cool.
My
So
mom's the best. She's
yeah.
crazy good.
What's up, Jimmy? You're next.
All right. So it's a two-part question, actually, Drury. So one, do you cut weight? And then two, if you do cut weight, what's the foods that get you through your weight cutting?
Oh yeah, I cut weight, but I don't like it. I hate it.
Well,
How
we
much
all
I
do.
do? Yeah, I think I cut like 10, 15 pounds every time, which is not terrible, but I definitely hate it. And the thing I like to eat, oh, I put like Gatorade into popsicle molds, and I suck on that. And I like chocolate milk, but I'll drink like very little before my workout, and I'll drink it. But I know you're not supposed to, but I do it anyway. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't eat much.
So that's the secret, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gatorade popsicles and chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And then, do you have any like rituals that like are you superstitious at all? Is there any like pre-match things you got to make sure you do or have?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I have
you
to have my back cracked before every match, or I won't do good.
okay? That's interesting. I
Yeah.
guess that makes you feel aligned.
Yeah, my coach cracks my back really hard. I have to do that. And I have to do sprints before my matches. I
Just
have
kind
to
of
sprint.
wake yourself up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I talk to myself too. Or I hum. I hum to myself.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna ask, like, what are some? Because again, like, I don't ever see you like super overly like pumped, before matches or after matches. Uh, like, what are you listening to? Like, what's your music that you're either? I want to know your music when you before a match, and I want to know your music that you work out to.
Oh, they're pretty much the same. I like listening to really sad songs, like depressing songs, before and after matches, because I get so scared and I get so like hyper. So like I need something to calm down. So I just need to like listen to really sad songs.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Josh, you got anything you want to hit her with on the side? Like,
No, that's interesting. Sad song.
Yeah, really depressing songs. My
Hey,
teammates hate it.
yeah, depressing song when she was wrestling in the state championship. She was singing, "You got what I need,"
This is
and she
sad.
took it. And she
Yeah,
took it.
that would be terrible. Oh my gosh. So when, like, how did your parents take you having the success that you did? I mean, I know after your first trip out, not maybe doing so well, and then you come back and you're like, I'm a second in the nation, and then you go on to Fargo, and then it's like I'm second in the nation again. Like, how do they take that?
Well, they're like really chill about it. Like they don't stress about it. They don't put any stress on me. And whenever I come home, they're like, "Oh, how'd you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got like fifth." And they're like, "Oh, great, I got first." And like, "Oh, great." They're always like, I come home and there's always food ready. They don't really talk about it that much. And if I tell them like, "Oh yeah, I got destroyed in finals," they just kind of like laugh it off. So it's like it's really great.
Damn, that's pretty lucky, man. I can remember coming home and not being like, "Oh yeah, I took first." And mom's like, "Good, take the trash out." Like,
Yeah, they
like,
got food ready.
no,
They ask me what I want. That's great.
dang, that sounds like a pretty good upbringing. You ever get that lucky, Josh?
Yeah.
No, you got second. Not getting a ride home. You can run home from the
Yeah.
tournament.
Clearly,
Yeah,
you
my parents are super nice.
So, what did anything really catch you off guard this year? I mean, was there anything, whether it was in a match or how well you did or anything like that that caught you off guard?
Oh yeah, because I wasn't a really big believer in like hard work pays off. I'm just like, oh, these things happen. So like, so when I started like working harder this year, and then like results started coming up. Like last year I didn't place at nationals, but this year I did really well. So I'm like, oh, well, what my coach is telling me is good. Like it's correct. So it's like that took me by kind of surprise.
Yeah, I mean, give us an idea of how your training schedule changed from your first year getting ready for nationals and your second year getting ready for nationals.
Well, last year I didn't have SOMAR, so that was like a big detriment in my training. And then, so sophomore year I had Des, your daughter, coaching me a lot, and that helped me so much. That helped me a lot. And then my coach started like he kind of already like freshman year he was trying to figure me out, but this year he already knows like my mood swings and what I need and what I don't need. Like you can't yell at me and stuff like that. And like he knows how to coach me. And then Des obviously already knew how to coach me. It was like instant connection. It was good. So this year was a lot better.
No, that's good. That's awesome. And then because Des, you like you're part of Somar, we kind of run our schedule a little different. But Des really was the main one that really got her hands on you, really got a good read on you in terms of like how to read you in the corner and stuff like that. Like, how are you in the corner? Are you somebody who needs like, you know, are you somebody who needs like somebody to bring you back up? Or are you somebody that just needs you to give you specific information? Like how would you say you are in the corner, and how would you say that your connection with your coaches is, when you come to the corner and stuff like that?
Yeah, I feel like once I go into the corner, I just need someone to put like piece me back together because I like kind of fall apart mentally inside of a match, and I get like I panic and I don't have my head straight. So when I go back to the corner, I just expect someone to put me back, like put all my brain pieces back together, and does that really well.
Nice. And Coach Brian, like how does he? What's his
He does
approach?
a great job.
Does a great job with
Oh,
that
he
too.
just says, "Oh, Anya, you're okay. You're gonna be fine. Just keep doing what you're doing." And I'm like, "Okay, just stay calm, and then I'll go back and I'll be just fine."
That's good. I think that's probably a part of coaches that coach a boys team that have girls on their team don't realize that when the difference in coaching males and
Yeah,
females is that there's just a different mindset and approach that you have to have. And
yeah.
some of those girls, I mean, Jimmy, how do you feel about that? I mean, you've had hammers on your team, dude. I mean, we could go through the laundry list of girls that have been just super successful. I mean, have they all pretty much been the same? I mean, Suhei Seha, Chandrea Shelby, Alyssa Asseval, all those girls. Like, were they all the same? I mean, could you approach them all the same, or how did they differ?
I mean, like Drury just said a little while ago, personalities. You got to understand who's stronger at what and what not to do, because sometimes kids, and we have to remember that as coaches, that they're still kids, and some of them will just shut down because they don't know how to take, what you give it. They're not used to that. So you have to kind of, you have to be professional about it, but I mean, you got to be tough on our kids, but some kids just don't react to certain things, and you have to all treat them all different, and that's what makes it so tough about having a big squad of girls, which a lot of organizations don't want to do, and that's the reason why they don't want to have a girls team is because you're dealing with, like for me, I'm dealing with 50 plus personalities, but
Yeah.
you just got to be able to adjust to them, man, and remind them that it's it's okay to have bad days, and you got to learn, and it's okay to be emotional, because the way I see it, man, when, like I tell my girls, when you're emotional, that tells me you care. If you really didn't react to failure, and that's okay, because when practice, I tell them there's no losses in practice, right? You're going out there and you're learning. You're training with studs all day long, so it's okay to get your butt kicked every day. And when you have to, especially, I have a ton of girls, and when they're on the same cycle, I'm done. I have to keep my mouth shut, because it's over after that. I'd be like, whatever you girls need, I got you.
Bowers shows up with like a can full of chocolate and like some.
Hey man, I'm used to it. I totally understand. They know, they know that I could tell when when it's coming that time, or where they're all having a bad day or whatever. You just gotta adjust to it, man. You gotta. I make them. They have fun working hard. If that makes any sense, I got them to the point where, they're busting their ass, but they're having fun doing it because they know that it's gonna benefit them later on.
Sorry about that. We're on Instagram Live right now too. So, Josh, you run a one-girl team, kind of like Ania does. How does your team approach, the difficulties of trying to integrate a young lady into the program? I mean, is she just one of the guys? Is there a specific coach that kind of handles them? Like, how does that all work?
Yeah, we run. This year we got 2 incoming freshmen that are joining the team, so we actually are tripling our size of our team this year. But one of them's really going to be good too. She's kind of just got doesn't necessarily have the it. We talked about it, I think, a couple of weeks ago. It might have been with Bowers.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the it, but she's pretty talented. Just naturally like a cat. But we run it. She is just one of the guys, complete immersion. We run one practice. She drills with the boys. She wrestles live with the boys. She's on the boys' team, really. I mean, because we're one wrestling team at our school. We really can't be 2 separate teams, otherwise we'll have a practice by herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, they include her. They're very supportive. They want her to get better. I mean, she's a perfect partner for our younger, 106 varsity guys and younger, a little bigger JV guys. So,
well, that's good. And Ania, I mean, it's evident that your team really kind of welcomes you in and kind of, you're just part of the team, But in the future, when you do have more girls and stuff like that, how does that work? I mean, are you kind of still queen bee even to the boys, at that point, or is it still kind of like just girls in the room, whatever?
Yeah, well, I think my team's really nice. They don't really care if it's a girl or dude, but like it definitely makes a difference if there's more girls inside the room. Like the vibe kind of changes. But I think I'll always be kind of like, oh, the girl on the team. But we have some girls like coming in that are really good. Like there's a girl that was from my jiu-jitsu that she's coming in, and she's really good. And I feel like she's gonna be integrated into the team just like I am. And they're all super nice about it, and they're supportive, and they like mess around just like they do with any other dude.
Awesome.
Nice.
Hey, Ania, can you? I heard a rumor from a coach that is one of your coaches at your high school that when you were getting ready to come into high school, that your dad called a couple local high schools, and they pretty much said, we don't have a girls program. We're not really going to cater to you. Is that true that you know of?
Yeah. That's true.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad told me. But it's all right. Like I get it. I get it.
So there
I
was
totally get it.
multiple schools that do not have a state placer. They don't even have a state placer, boys or girls. Turned down a freshman state placer finalist and a sophomore state champ that could have gotten a lot of recognition to their wrestling team in general, but they decided that actually one of the programs, one of my alma maters, I believe it was, Marina High School, had Vicky Anthony, a very successful girls wrestler at that school, and still, that's crazy. That's astonishing to me that I hear these stories all the time of these coaches that either don't know how to coach girls, don't want the drama, whatever it might be, whatever preconceived notions they have, that are just willing to. I mean, it's not like I got this girl that kind of wants to wrestle. It's I got this like national level girl in another sport that wants to wrestle. It's just astonishing to me.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bowers?
I think it was stupid. I'm surprised I didn't get. I'm surprised I didn't get a call, but
Bowers is currently trying to find a time machine on eBay. Currently searching time machine.
I'm thinking, how come I didn't get that call?
Yeah. Bowers is like, how do I time travel? He's looking up Tesla theories and stuff right now. But speaking of which, Josh, how is it that there's not a Ryback in the stable in Corona? That's I mean, you guys are like right off the 91. You got 50-girl team right there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's more like you like missing the boat or Bowers slipping on his.
Hey, I honestly didn't even know. I thought he lived in Orange County, and then when I found out he's my neighbor at Nationals, I was like, what the? Really?
He brought over
my heart. Like I felt like broken. Like
a cup of sugar, huh? He's knocking on the door. He's like, "Hey, can I use a cup of sugar?" He's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, I'm living 2 years." That's so how
I started coaching I think my 6th year at Esperanza. Oh, this is my 6th year at Esperanza now. So, she kind of grew up in that room and she felt comfortable there. And we were going to move to Orange County anyway. And then the housing market started going crazy, and we said, maybe we won't move to Orange County. We'll stay out this way. But yeah, then Bowers, when he did find out, he was like, I'm kind of hurt. I'm really hurt that you live so close.
I couldn't make sense of it. I was like,
that
was tough.
But I think my daughter's maybe not tough enough to go to Corona High School.
That's rough. Oof. I mean, let's think about it. Who did you have in her weight this year, Jimmy?
No, I don't even mean like in the wrestling room. I meant in the school.
Now, what did you say? I'm sorry, my earplug fell out. What?
I said I don't think my daughter would be tough enough to attend Corona High School. He thinks being a little sheltered white girl.
Hey, but that's what you have me for, man.
Jimmy's escorting her from class to class.
Hey, you know how many softies I had come in my room when they first started, man, and then when they walked out, different athletes.
I don't think anybody's messing with you when you got Suhei on one side and Alyssa Aswell on the other side, and Shelby behind you. I don't think you have a whole lot to worry about. Like I think the crowd just parts like the Red Sea.
And this is why we are 28% Caucasian.
And I think that there's probably a couple more Fusis that are still pretty big over there in Corona, right? Isn't there like 12 of them or something?
No. I already coached all the boys, but Mama Fusi, she's gonna head back to the island and grab me some more Fusis and start them up again. She told me that already. She promised me. She goes, "Don't worry, coach. I'm going to the island and I'm getting more Fusis."
By the Fusis. Okay, so
I love that lady, man. But they're always big supporters. But yeah, I've already coached the last son, the youngest son. He's on his mission right now in Guatemala. So they were a blessing. So hopefully I get some more.
So Ania, let's ask you a question about this. Is there a weight class that you really prefer to watch outside of your own that you like to watch during tournaments or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Cheyenne Bowman's weight, 126. I think that's a cool weight class. And then I like one of the lighter weights. I think it's 101 or 106s. The lighter weights are always super fun to me. The super light ones.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
kind of
twigs.
little cats.
Yeah.
I call them the littles. Those are the littles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so vicious, so it's fun to watch.
Yeah, that is kind of fun. Like, yeah, I mean, well, Bowers always has those 106s and 101s that come out. Your girl last year that she didn't place, but she was Unity. Like, she was like really freaking tough, dude. I watched her throughout the
Yeah.
year. I'm like, God, that girl's tough. So it's like you
Yes.
just freedom out there in Corona, I think.
Yeah, she's a first year girl too. I wish she had been with me her freshman year, but she's a jujitsu girl, and she was like raw. She's a little fighter, so putting the wrestling skill together for her, it was amazing just to see her growth because it was a few girls that she lost to just her very first tournament, and then she beat them all. She beat everybody that she lost to in the beginning, so because she was actually learning how to wrestle. So
I mean,
one more year.
If you guys think, I mean, we maybe will do this at a Somar tournament with all these girls who cross train in jujitsu. Maybe we'll just have like an open, like just jujitsu. Like, you know what? Here we go,
Yeah.
girls. We'll start you off. Just let them go.
Hey, I'm gonna have in my varsity lineup this year. I'm gonna have 3 freshmen that are all jujitsu girls that have been busting their ass.
So you'll have those 3 plus Danielle Garcia is a jiu-jitsu girl.
Yep.
We could throw in Ania, Heaven Jerez, Bowman. God,
the Sudol twins from Yorba Linda, they're both jiu-jitsu girls.
Yep.
With Danny.
Yep.
I wouldn't put any of them against a Rusi though. That's a good thing she graduated because those girls live in that gym, I think. But yeah, I mean, there's quite a few girls that are jiu-jitsu girls.
My 160 pounder, I think she's going down to 50s this year. Her she was my biggest transition. She's a hardcore jiu-jitsu girl. She's a junior now, but she actually had Kiri Shell, the CIF champion, master champion, on her back at Merida Valley 3 times.
Oof.
And she just couldn't, she's still learning to wrestle.
Yeah.
And she literally had her back 3 times trying to pin her and couldn't, and fell off in the last round and got pinned by Kiri. So she's kicking herself in the ass when she sees her on the top of the podium at Masters as champion, And
yeah.
So, but she'll be good. She's only a junior, so I got her too. And Amara's a jiu-jitsu girl too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
we could probably have a pretty good little champions pool. We'll do it like we're gonna do the takedown tournaments, Jimmy, like we always do, where we do the champions pool. These the 3 from this way, like, and just let them. Honestly, I think that's a nice little touch. I think that we do that. I don't think you get to see it very many places because you always have those brackets, right? Where it's like, okay, if Anya was in a champions pool, it would have been Anya with Bowman, with whoever was in between them. Who won it in between them? Was it Othman? Who won stayed in between you and Bowman, Anya?
I have no idea. 132s? I don't know.
32s? Was that? I forget who that was off the top of my head. But yeah, so that'll be kind of fun. Alrighty, Anya. So we won't keep you anymore, Anya, unless you want to stay on and talk with us. We're gonna talk right now.
It was Coralejo, Candace.
Coralejo, that's who it's Candace.
Coralejo.
God, that would be think about that champions pool right there. That champions pool would be vicious. Like, because we got to see it at a Somar event. We got to see Bowman and Anya get after it. And that was fun. That was real fun coming in. And it was like, ooh, okay. We saw some things that we probably didn't expect to see. And it was like, oh, man, this is good. So more of that coming. But all right, Anya, well, we're going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for coming out to spend some time with us.
Thank you.
We'll probably have you in the future.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks, Anya.
All right, have a good night. All right, guys. So let's get moving then. I don't know. This is pretty much like a free-for-all time. So you guys want to all like kind of just bring up a topic that's on our mind, and we'll kind of shoot.
Hey, you know what? And I want to piggyback off what we were talking about earlier about it, how we, deal with our girls. I think a key thing to do to have in your room is what I did this year. I've done it every year, but I always had one girl, and either she couldn't come back or she only lasts half the season or whatever. But I think it's important to get female coaches in there, you know, even if they're under my wing and they're learning, because things that these girls, when they go through it, they're not going to come to, even though I have a great relation with them, there's just still some girl things that they want to be able to talk to girls about, you know? And that's why I'm super glad that I have Anna Castro and Jackie Quintana in my room now, because, I mean, the girls adapted to them super quick, you know? And, I mean, I see them interacting with them, and the girls love it, and, you know, and I think that's important, you know, because they want to be able to sit down and have that female mentality and version, you know, to be able to really interact with them. So I think that's important.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that's honestly, I think I get a little bit further ahead with my girls because some of them think I'm gay before they start to get to know me. I feel like they can kind of open up to me either way. And my daughter doesn't help with that either. She's always calling me a fag, which is a bad one. She does use that term when she talks to me sometimes, like, oh gosh. The downside of having a child at a young age is you kind of allow them to have a mouth you probably wouldn't have with your parents. But I think you're right. I think having more females in the room, somebody that because I mean, for us, it's easy for us to say work your butt off even if you're having things going on. But when you have a female in the room, you really don't have an excuse, especially if they've been through it. It's really easy, you know. And we have some moms who are really, I think, are pretty in tune with what wrestling takes and stuff like that. But the girls kind of look at them like, you didn't even wrestle, you don't know. But if you have a young lady in the room who has been through it, whether or not she's been successful, but has just been through the grind and has fought through it, there's a little bit more respect, I think, that goes towards that than just another guy coach telling them shut up and get in there. So
I agree.
I agree too. I think that you know, hopefully as we get more and more college programs in California too, they'll stay. You know, like we want them to, or to go out to college and come back to California. We want that too. I mean, as many women coaches as we can have, it helps grow the sport. It helps the girls feel more comfortable. It helps everything. I just, like we discussed before, we just don't have that many that are kind of at that level that, you know, or they got other things happening in life too. You know, I mean,
there's definitely some things that occur that we don't have to worry about as men. You know, I mean, there's a time clock for young ladies, you know, and there's goals that they have to reach by certain times, or just is not possible. And that was something that I talked to my daughter about when she was coming out of college and stuff. And her fiance's super supportive of her coaching wrestling, but she just wasn't sure she wanted to get caught up in the drama and stuff like that. And unfortunately, one of her first tournaments was Jimmy's tournament, so it's kind of like, oh man, you know. But she realized, like, yeah, you know what, like. If you really have a passion for it, you really care about the kids, like, you know, that kind of stuff just takes a back seat. At the end of the day, we're all coaches. We're all there for the right reasons, you know, which is to help the kids and then kind of bid in. And Jimmy, you had some talented girls coming back. I know your girls from Menlo came back, game all summer. Yeah. That's just really, you can't say enough about that. It's just super helpful to have those girls in the room and just pushing stuff. Especially when you have girls, because I feel like the baseline's going up every year. That those high school girls, the baseline's getting higher, and they're like challenging their upperclassmen sooner, you know, or they're coming in with experience. And it's good to have those college girls in the room because some of the girls need those girls to push them, you know, because
no doubt about it.
So, next topic I want to talk about was, what do you guys think about homeschooling your kids? Like, is it an advantage? Is it a disadvantage? I know some of the high-level girls that we see at some point or another were homeschooled, and I mean, you can't overlook the fact that it opens up a lot of time for these kids. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, if it's allowed, I mean, and they take advantage of it, the only thing is that they're just not interacting and taking part in a lot of things that are going on in school. Like me, I personally, I've seen the advantages for it. I personally wouldn't do it, you know, with my kid, but, you know, everybody has their reasons. And the stuff that they do with homeschooling, it's more like the schoolwork is easier, and there's not a lot of supervision, I should say. You know, they got to be responsible kids. responsible parents too and everything. So I know teachers come by every once in a while because my oldest son, I homeschooled him for his first semester of high school, his freshman year. But then we put him back in school the second semester. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have any feelings toward it either way. The only thing is I think that kids miss a lot of interacting with other kids, and you know, I know there's a lot of knuckleheads out there or whatever, but you got to be able to deal with those controversies, you know what I mean, and those barriers, and grow as a young kid into a young. You cover them all their years, and next you know they're out in the real world, and they don't know how to react, and they don't know how to adjust, and they who are they going to do? Call mom or dad, you know, yeah, to help them get out of a situation or whatever. But it's just real life interactions, man. They're missing out on. But I know that they keep them busy. Probably there's some people that homeschool their kids because they have them training or doing extra training or whatever they're doing. But like I said, I to each his own. They can all do it. I just personally wouldn't do it with my kids because I think they'd be missing out on a lot of important interactions with, you know, building memories and relationships with people that could be for the rest of your life.
Yeah. What do you think about it, Josh?
I think that it's got its definite advantages. You know, Michaela was she wasn't homeschooled last year, but she was like on a hybrid program where she did 2 periods at the school, and then the other classes kind of like independent study, which she had a teacher she met with once a week. But it's for her, it was because she missed so much school.
Hers is medical, right? Like it's not
hers was ours wasn't for training. It's, you know, she was in and out, missing so much school that it was just kind of a better option. Plus, when she was feeling good, it gave us that freedom to leave a day earlier to go or to go to some tournament we normally couldn't have gone to. You know, so that was a good thing. She's back in regular school this year, and you know, it's got its pros and cons. The social aspect is a huge aspect that is missing in the homeschool part. And then to have a high school age kid that you're going to homeschool them so you can train more. There's plenty of hours in the day to train for a kid going to school. You don't need to have them lift twice in the morning and go run and then go do a regular high school practice and all that stuff. I think it's a little bit overkill. I mean, if our senior level athletes aren't doing that, I don't think that we should have a high school kid going to do that.
Yeah, and I kind of had this discussion with a buddy of mine. He had 7 knee surgeries, you know, between his 2 knees, and I was sitting there. My little one was running a race today in Santa Monica. She's 3 years old, 3.5, and I said, yeah, you know, I'm trying to find the balance between starting stuff too soon and starting it too late, because I know for me, I can still run a 5K, a 10K, like whatever, but my body just hurts a little bit more. And I see these guys my age who started their athletic careers later, you know, and they're out there doing triathlons and stuff, and I'm like, my body hurts. Like, there's no way. And it's like those guys, I think, started things late. You know, they didn't really have an athletic career in their high school years. So if you take these young kids in high school and you start, you know, 2-a-daying them on lifts and 2-a-daying them on their wrestling, and what are their bodies going to look like by the time they get to college? You know, it's got to take a toll, right? You know, on some level. So I don't know. That's just something I was thinking about today. I have another one too. About was CIF committees. Like, how do we get more information from them? I mean, where do you get most of your information from, Josh, when we're talking about, you know, new things coming up or whatever?
I guess the forum or friends that are coaches. We're talking at tournaments. I guess you're saying, like, did you hear this? The weight certification is going to be this moved up to here now, or did you hear this? Did you hear that? And then half of it's not true, and the other half might be true. But it's I don't even think we still have a set thing on what's going to happen at state, where Masters is going to be, any of that stuff. I think when he comes back, Jimmy's on the CIF committee. At least he was last year. So at least maybe we'll have some inside track for that if they've even met this year. I don't think they have, but
I think they might have earlier, but yeah, I mean that's kind of my thing too. Is that everybody tells you to refer to the forum, but the forum's not an official CIF website.
no.
You know, and as if I was a new coach or a new parent coming in, the first thing I would go to is the CIF website. There's no link or hyperlink to CIF websites or anything like that. So for me, I think it'd be, it's kind of hard to get information, and there's no real direct way. Jimmy, we're just talking about. Let's let Jimmy get his headphones in real quick. Get it run off for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
So we're talking about CIF committees. Is there a better way for us to be getting our information? Because there's really, unless you know somebody, nobody's getting information until the last minute. And
well, here's the way it's supposed to work. We have our meetings, right? And
have they had one this year yet?
We had no, we haven't had our pre one yet.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry, we did because we talked about the decision of the state and regionals and what are we going to do about masters, etc.
Well, why don't you share some of that with us then, if you don't mind? I mean, can you share some of it with us?
Yeah. Well, we were talking about possibly going to a fifth because there's so many kids and it's a 1-day event, right?
Hang on, I'm sorry, Jimmy. Your internet kind of paused for a second. Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, I said, let me fix my buds too. Hold on 1 second. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, so we talked about possibly going to a 5 regionals versus the 4 that we currently have, and then finding a school that's going to have more towards the Orange County area, not the additional one, but just moving it. I don't know where we had it, where there was the Orange County one last year. Was it Tustin? I don't remember where it was, but talking about El Toro possibly.
El Toro was last year.
Okay, so and apparently they did a good job, so we were talking about El Toro doing it again. And then I even offered to run, like Masters, because Masters is going to be on the same day as the boys. So the Catalines over at Roosevelt possibly wouldn't be able to do it because they have boys that usually go to Masters. So it'd be hard if they're not there. And then I said, worst case, I'll run it at Roosevelt if we keep it there. I don't mind doing that either because it's a great venue. So those are the things we were turning around. Of course, a lot of stuff that happens on the state committee was being disseminated down to us by, Rob Fro. And that's how we found out about the 3 days. And we just had to make a decision. We just had to make a decision on what day we were going to do regionals and what day we were going to do finals, CI finals, which is what we call masters. So, which we decided we were going to do, right? And then they were able to post that onto the schedule, which they did, so everybody could see.
Okay.
So, and committee members like myself, like anybody that asked me, I told them. So, but I didn't go out there saying, hey, right after we got out of the meeting, here's what we did, right? And here's what's going on. So, but a lot of people that know me, that hit me up, knowing that we had a meeting, I told them, so let them know. And then when they posted it on the CIF website.
Okay, so just in case somebody doesn't know the website or whatever, what dates are we looking at then for regionals? You're looking at what?
For region, let me pull it up on my phone because I have it on my schedule already. I actually have it on my wrestlers sites already. So I'm on the phone. What's wrong with you? All right. Hey, come here. Hey, come here. Come here, baby. So you can see them. But let me pull it up.
Yeah, because we were talking about where do we go to get the information. We're just talking to.
You go to it's the CIF SS.org.
but
Yeah.
which is very unuser friendly to navigate.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
definitely a government website, even though they're not government.
That I agree. So, regionals is February 9th.
Okay.
That's CF regionals, and then CIF finals is February 15th and 16th,
Okay.
and then state championships is February 21st, 22nd, and 23rd.
So is this the first time then that we're going to have all sections running their qualifying at the same time?
That's a good question, because I was thinking, because we move our season 2 weeks ahead, right?
Yeah.
That it kind of makes it a more of a level playing field, right? So as far as the weight class, because I know there was a lot of controversy being talked about. I know people came up to me and called me and, left me a bunch of messages saying, hey, how come that's fair? Because these other sections get to have theirs after us, so they can go whatever weight they want to avoid us, right?
Yeah.
Someone didn't need to avoid us. Someone didn't need to avoid us. That was just a perception. So
Yeah.
what can we do?
I think it was before you started Corona. There was a parent from the southern section at West Covina who drove up to the SJ section and was taking pictures of the brackets, and they lost their mind. They called the cops. They said he was filming kids. They were doing all these things because they were furious that parents from the southern section drove up to the SJ section and were taking pictures of the brackets, and they were furious. They were really mad.
Oh,
So
I didn't hear about that. I just heard about the one parent that yelled at the ref for let him weigh in, because they were working out, I guess, whatever outside the. But anyway,
I don't know. I think I saw a video of that somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that those are the definite dates, but as far as getting information out, normally, like I said, it has to be disseminated through and then posted on their site, and then go from there. But
so Jimmy, a CIF qualifier, as we're calling it, is that still going to be only first and second matter, and then?
Yeah, who cares? Your daughter hasn't had any
dinner. Okay, go ahead. I can't hear you.
Only first, only once you qualify, the tournament's done.
Which one are you talking about? You talking about the regionals?
Yeah, the regional.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're trying to get, if they get the additional one, then they can have true placings. Because I explained to them, like, if you ever been to the boys' La Costa Canyon freshman, Southern California championships, right?
Yeah.
They always have, and it's a one-day event, and they always come up with 8 placers there, and they have 32-man brackets over there. So we were talking about that, saying, hey, how come we can't do it like that, to where you don't stop wrestling? Because normally it would be by rule the next person would advance if they haven't hit their 5 matches, right? And the other one did. Doesn't disqualify them, because they would still qualify if they already wrestled technically 5 matches. They would have qualified. But as far as placing is concerned, they still wouldn't have a head-to-head place in whatever, versus, honestly, when they stopped at our regionals, I was kind of disturbed by it, but all I said was, okay, all these girls took third,
Yeah.
So,
well, my understanding too is that, and you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, we could go over 5 matches in the postseason, right? It's just,
from what I remember, it was 1 additional match on postseason, like additional match, like a 6 match. But I thought I read that somewhere, but
yeah, but
I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it, so the max matches was left at 5.
But what's his name ruled, because they called Glenn and then they called Dwayne Morgan, and he said it doesn't matter. It's not a true. See, because it's girls wrestling or something, it's not a true qualifier. It's not really postseason. It's just like kind of like a league final to get you to the next phase anyway, so it doesn't matter, and it can't be wrestled. Is what they told our CIF or our whatever we're calling it.
okay.
and it shouldn't affect them as far as like seeding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they haven't really been head to head. So because they kind of treat it somewhat like kind of like a league finals, so to speak, right? That's like the girls' league finals
That's like a
versus
giant league finals.
yeah.
Well, it depends on what regional you're in. You go up north, but before this year, and it was like, dude, there was nothing. There was brackets that were just sad. So,
Oh, in the northern section, right? That was.
yeah. Well, and then what are they going to do with that? Also, Jimmy, the fact that
Well, there's 10 schools. I think I came out to there was 10 schools or 10. I don't remember exactly that we're moving up to the central.
Right.
So and then from there. So, but like I said, we're still in abundance of wrestlers in the southern section. So creating a fifth one that we were talking about, and then saying, okay, we're gonna have top 5 like we do, the boys, right? Have top 5 or top 6. It wasn't really definitive. We were just throwing some stuff around, like what should we do and who would do the 5th one. And that's when I offered, I'll do a 5th one too. I said, because us and Hillcrest, we beat each other up every regionals, and wouldn't mind separating us and us having our own regional, and we'll take some of the Orange County people that are on the border right there, like Canyon, Tustin, all them, right? They can come to us, and then further south, they would have their own.
Jimmy, we just got a question right now online. Girls wrestling boys in the postseason.
Oh, you're not supposed to, because they're CI sanctioned now. Girls are CI sanctioned, so they should be wrestling in the girls division.
They should be, or that they have to?
No, from what I understand, it was required to. They can wrestle during any other tournaments, but from what I understood, it's not supposed to be allowed in league finals for any CI qualifier or any postseason or anything like that, because they're sanctioned. But they can't do both. So I think the gray area was, they do that, right?
Then they have to stay with boys.
They have to stay. They have to stay there. In other words, they couldn't go to a boys league final, and if they don't qualify, then they go to a girls regionals. They can't do that.
Okay. And then another question we just got right down too was, at what age? I don't mean to cut you guys off, but at what age should girls stop wrestling boys? Like to me, personally,
I don't know. That's a tough question, because there's some girls that, like Christy, that comes from Menlo, and she comes in my room and she comes and wrestles with my boys still. So that's really hard. I think the lighter weights, honestly, it's usually the lighter weights. It's all good, maybe 106, 113s. But usually from when it goes up, I mean, depending on the caliber wrestler, but it's just apples and oranges. It's hard to really, compare, because the strength is different. Yeah,
I would say too. I think competing against the boys, unfortunately, a lot of states don't have sanctioned girls wrestling, so they got to wrestle the boys. But if I had a choice, like in California, I would say, you know what? There's enough wrestling in high school for the girls, even if you're dominating. That, you know what? Get some other partners. Go train at against some of the other top girls in your area. I know we talked about maybe rotating the Somar practices with some of the other clubs in the area. Maybe head over to Pounders, and then have Pounders come over to Somar, have Somar go over to Pounders. Then we both go over to somewhere else, and train there. Even go to Sacramento. If Mario wants to run a practice, have our girls go up there, practice with them, and just get some cross training in. But competing wise, I think high school is kind of the limit.
I agree.
Competing. If you can. I mean, if you're in California, it's definitely different than other states. But if you can, I would think that would be the time to do it. All right, fellas, should we get into these rankings for this year? We're looking at what, Josh? 111, 116?
Yeah, 111, 116.
All right, let's bring these bad boys up. We have a lot of movement, I think, especially even in our section. I think there's a lot of movement. A lot of girls graduated in these weight classes, I think.
And like we talked about before, this is kind of just like where they left off last year if we froze time, and we're eliminating the graduating girls and leaving them at the same weight class until someone tells us differently and we see it.
Yeah. So last year's placings for 111 was Aleda Martinez, just a hammer and just a staple. Then you had Ashley Venegas from Mount Whitney. She just came out. Huh? I mean, I think people kind of either forgot about her or she just had a coming out party in the postseason because she kept a very tough Charlotte Cremousian from getting into state this year. Then you graduate Rosalind Chang. Savannah Kiddu comes up. Samantha Barrion from Hemet, the ninth grader, who had a coming out party at state. She was the Southern Section 7, places fifth at state. Very tough weight class. Then you had Julie Tran from James Logan, who graduated. And then Esmeralda Arroyo from Elk Grove graduated. And then Carolina Johnson from North Salinas graduated. So really, just in 111s, you have 1, 2, 3 girls back. Everybody else graduates. So that's going to be a weight class. I think it's kind of up for grabs. Who was in the blood round that round, Josh? Do you know?
I don't know, but I know that I potentially will have a girl that will
was it
damage.
Was she 111 or was she 116 last year?
She was 116, but she's actually a 108 pounder. She's a 106 pounder.
Well, I mean, we all know, like, once a girl gets to a Corona room, she's 2 weight classes below where she was somewhere else.
Are you saying Corona's like the Oklahoma State of girls' high school?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, Jimmy gets them down.
She's gonna be either one. She's definitely gonna be 111s, but depending where girls fall, I'm gonna have her in the tougher weight class, whether it's gonna be 108s or 113. That's where she's gonna be. Wherever the toughest is of those two, that's where she.
So you think, though, even she's a senior this year, right?
Yeah,
right? She's a senior this year. So you don't subscribe to the idea then of just getting a state title. You're one of these guys that you would rather get a place a third in a state tournament of a tough weight class than to win a state title at a weaker weight class.
Well, no, I have to battle test her. I'm going to battle test her and get her ready. I mean, we already put a lot of work in. She had Suhei to work with until Suhei left to college. Suhei and Rosie, actually. Mm-hmm. So, you know, she's already transformed. I mean, let's put it this way. We went to Fresno where we wrestled Tara Hoffman, and we majored her 10-2, second in the state at 116.
And it wasn't that far of a gap between the state tournament, right? It was pretty close to the state tournament.
Well, no, it was April, right? It was.
Oh, so you're talking freestyle, folk style?
No, it was folk style. We wrestled folk style against.
Oh, yeah, so that was still March then.
Oh, yeah, March. Yeah, March. So.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, so, I mean, and that's with her out of shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so.
That was. So on whoever's coming back, there's not many that lost in the blood round. There's Alexis Medina at Northview. She was SS4 that was lost in the blood round. She's going to be a senior this year.
Yeah, and she's tough because she
placed in Oklahoma. I think she
and she gave Kiddu a tough match, like in the first rounds, like one of the first rounds too.
Yeah, so, Rosie Chang squeezed by her for third place, third, fourth.
Yeah, so I think did Chang knock her out in the blood round?
No. She took fourth. We took third.
Okay. So, you mean Kiddu? Yeah, Kiddu. Yeah. So yeah.
No. I'm talking about Medina.
Medina? Oh, you're talking about
at state. Rosie pinned Kiddu in the first round.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say because I was looking at that right now. Like, no, she pinned her. And then Baragon from Hemet, dude, that girl's tough.
Yeah, she came out of nowhere, man. I mean, we all knew who she was because she'd win some matches, lose some matches, but she turned it up, man, when she needed to turn it up, and that's what matters. That's why they say Masters is the qualifying tournament, man. And then everybody's 0-0 at state, man, and she proved that.
Yeah, and then I don't know what happened. You might have a better idea, but Ria Prasad defaulted to Rosie, who was the SS1 and the 2 seed at state. she defaulted in the blood round, and she's going to be a senior this year. So
yeah, she didn't. That's because she didn't want to wrestle us, man. Because we almost beat her at Masters. She beat us. She beat us 1-0. She didn't want.
the medal round.
defaulted out of state.
I would too. Versus taking an L. Heck yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry, man. Rosie was ready for her.
He's arguing the strength of a loss. I love that when a coach does that. He's like, yeah, we got a strong loss on that one. We're coming in though.
Yeah, we didn't even get a lot. We didn't even get a win. We got a default. That's better.
That's 6 points. That's 6 points. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah, that's a pin in points. That's a pin, and the key is, because it's not like a bye where you had to win the next one, even though she pinned the next one anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, she pinned her way to third place. So.
Yeah, that separated you from Menlo Atherton in the team race too. So.
Right.
Good. So that's going to be a pretty open weight class. I mean, 111 coming in with Ashley Venegas at 1 and Kadu at 2, and then Barragán at 3. Then you're kind of, and then it's just open. Like, wow, that's pretty tough. 116 though is a little bit of a different situation. You got Roy Corson.
Well, you got to remember though, hey, you might have Missy at 11s too, because she made a hard cut to make 8s last year, and it was pretty rough towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
So
she's pretty big in the offseason.
She might go 11s next year. So, or this year rather.
I would like to see Missy against Venegas. I think that would be a really good match. And Kadu and Missy had a little bit of history from the.
I don't think. Yeah, they couldn't compare her. That day that Kadu and Missy got DQ'd in that match, I was at Santa Ana. Missy was beating her by 8 points.
And that's a negative. Missy got in on a shot. Kadu got in on a beautiful shot. Then you had
I saw that. You
had a minute and a half scramble, and then Missy took her down, and then Missy started down, and then they got into that scramble situation, and then she folded her in half. Like, it was kind of a weird scramble. She folded her in half, was just literally just holding her ankles over her head, and then the ref blew the whistle, and I like Missy, dude. She's tough. And she kind of got up off the ankle, and Kadu was like not having it, and like gave it to her. And then Missy went at her, and then it was like, boom, broke it off. So it wasn't an 8-0 match.
Oh, no. I was up by 8 points, but I was looking at the score. I didn't see what happened until they got DQ'd.
Yeah,
I went to look at the score, so unless they were changing the things around because they got disqualified or whatever, but I saw it.
Yeah, no, it was closer than that. It was closer than that. It wasn't an 8-point match, but it was great scramble in the very beginning. But yeah, it wasn't an 8-point match by any stretch, but it was a great scramble. I like seeing fire too. I'm not gonna I like seeing girls with some spunk, and
I honestly, I like Kadu, and she got an attitude.
Yeah, no, that's what that's really like, because Kadu, she had kind of a Matt Fur pointed her out to me before she started coming to herself, and he was like, "You see this girl over here?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, some boy did something to her at a tournament, and she gave it to him. Like, she threw hands on him." And I was like, "Whoa!" Like, that's that's pretty. You don't see that often, But she's a no frills kind of girl. She comes from a good family. But yeah. But back to this weight class. So you have Corsa who graduated at 16. Oathman graduated. You got Valdivia coming in a freshman 3rd. You got Mendoza from Selma coming in. She'll be a junior this year at 4th. You have Nia Gaines from Bear Creek, who's I believe an All-American nationally too. She'll be coming in. She took 5th. Then Desiree Lopez from Folsom graduated. Then you have Gloria Gonzalez from Paramount, and Priscilla Ramirez. I heard a rumor that Gonzalez was going to be dropping. That's the rumor that I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah,
well, I know Coach Javier is not there anymore.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, and he gave that program another year. He really cares about that program. He's been doing it for a while. He's been talking about trying to find somebody to take it over, and unfortunately he's gone. And that program, hopefully they get somebody who's invested in it as much as he was, because good guy, super good guy. Those girls are lucky. So we're looking at Adriana Lopez at 1. Oh, sorry, I'm at the wrong week list. Sorry. We're looking at Alyssa Valdivia at 1, Melanie Mendoza at 2, Nia Gaines at 3, Gloria Gonzalez at 4, Priscilla Ramirez at 5, and then it's kind of open from there. I know Heaven Jerez had kind of a tough draw. She had Rory Carsa in the quarters, I think.
She'll be towards the top of the podium this year, no doubt about it.
And
She
then
she works hard, man.
yeah,
She'll be done, and she has a lot of passion. So she's, for anybody that has any doubts about her, I think she's gonna come through and make her mark.
Yeah, and then she came back in the bracket, and then she had to face Mendoza. So it was kind of like boom, boom, just a bad draw, and you kind of fall into that situation where it's like, darn, okay, you took that loss. So she lost to Rory in the quarters, and then lost to Mendoza after that. So it's kind of like just one of those things. So I think she'll probably be in that ranking. Anybody else you guys got maybe climbing the hill here?
There's a freshman, Greta Gustafson. She's a sophomore this year. She All-American in Fargo. I know that. I don't know where she's from. SCZ. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, let me see here. Gustafson.
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. Okay, that's the one Mario was talking about. I think Mario was talking about her.
Yeah, she's coming back. Let's see who else lost in the blood round. Those are 2 seniors.
Well, what weight is Katie Gomez?
She's going to be probably 106, 111.
I think
she's too big.
She's going to be 11 or 16, I think. Yeah, but we'll see.
I agree. She's too big for. I think she might even be big for 111s. I think she might even be big for 111. So I don't know about 106. I've seen her size. I heard you.
Yeah, listen for her. You're the only one here.
All right.
Yeah, let me drive that away by myself. And then.
So yeah, so I think that's going to be kind of how they fall out. No disrespect to anybody else. Obviously, we don't want to make anybody feel like we're overlooking them. And anybody who wants to like kind of drop in some hints on girls to watch out for, we always welcome that also. So we want to make sure that nobody feels like we're slighting anybody or anything like that, or overlooking. This is just kind of how they fell out. And then, so that's kind of how I see things. When we take out the seniors, that's kind of how things look. What about in the southern section though? Since we're all southern section guys, and let's see here, 111s. Prasada, Claire Garcia graduated. Rosalind Chang graduated. Alexis Medina is still there. Ariel Guzman graduated. The girl from Valley View, Gabrielle Gagnon. You guys know what grade she was in?
Yeah. I don't know what grade she is, but I know what you're talking about.
Then you have Samantha Farragon and Samantha Martinez. So I think they would slide up pretty quick from there, right? With all those girls leaving in the middle.
Yeah. Here. Go get my charger though and charge it.
And then
come here, say hi.
It's kind of, I think it's gonna happen.
This is my superstar here. This is my little champion here. This is Aaliyah. Hi, baby.
Is she the cheerleader?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's checking my phone right now. So.
Yeah. Alrighty. So you guys got anything else?
No, man. But of the 16s, I got a sophomore that's gonna be pretty tough. So I think she's gonna do some damage this year. Nobody knows who she is, but
perfect.
She'll be known.
Secret weapon.
Yeah.
Jimmy's cool enough though. Where like they're not secrets forever. He puts them out there right off the bat. Because
I have some key girls I want her to meet first, and then people will say, "Oh, damn, who's this girl?" And I told her that's what you're gonna do. It's a little, it's a lot of work. I told her, but she's been working hard since last year. She's actually been with me since she's 7th grader. But
hey, we just had a live request to put Bowers, the main screen on Bowers, because it's very entertaining for him to get yelled at by his wife.
Hey, dude, I say it all the time, man. My wife definitely runs the show. So, but
yeah, she was telling me I'm a bad dad because I didn't feed my kid.
It could be worse.
Oh, that was Richard Valdivia, right?
So
I just saw his text.
Yeah. But alrighty, fellas. Well, I think that's it for today. I think everybody's tired of hearing us flap our gums. We'll be back next week. I'm gonna try to see if we can talk to Fernando Serrato. See if maybe he wants to come on and talk about the future issues, where they've been, where they're going, and then work on some other talent coming through. Anybody you guys might want to hear too, let me know, and we'll again. Anybody who watches the podcast who is always welcome to suggest who we should or shouldn't have on, so that way we could keep everybody happy. So,
yeah, don't forget we're on iTunes and Google Play. Like and share it, and listen to it on your commute.
Hey, Richard, talking all this smack. How come he wasn't on right today? What's going on?
Richard's a little busy. That's all. So
yeah.
I'm sure he'll be on soon. He'll be on soon. So, all right, guys.
He's at Pounders practice or something.
Yeah, his Pounders practice is interfering with podcast time.
I mean, hey, I don't know why he wouldn't just make the extra 20-minute drive, right? Right, Jimmy, and just put on the red, buddy. Put on the scarlet and gold and go out there and get it done.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
By the way, September 15th, we're gonna start our series again. Where we're gonna have the draft duels. So we're gonna do September 15th, September 22nd with Jimmy over at Corona. Then September 29th, we'll be at Santa Ana. And I think we'll probably do the duels on October 6th, which is supposed to be the Fortnite duels. But I think I'm going to make it an individual or the dual tournament for the draft duels. So put that in there too. And with the draft duels, have you ever done it, Josh? Have you been on the draft duels? Or you see what we do? So basically what we do is we take the brackets from the tournaments, and the host schools become draft coaches, and so they draft their fantasy lineups from the brackets. And we'll probably do it on a podcast. Actually, I have to do a separate podcast for the draft, and we go do it on Facebook Live, so the girls can see they're getting drafted as it's going on. And then the coaches give us a team name and team colors. I know, Jimmy, before you were heroes and villains, right, Jimmy?
Yep.
So we had we make up short and singlets for the girls when they come out and wrestle a takedown duel tournament. So it's kind of fun. I think the girls really like it. They seem to, it gets pretty loud. So it's a good way for the girls to kind of do what Jimmy was saying, where you get the girls together with people they won't usually work with or anything, and they just kind of get to know each other.
Yeah, I had girls on 4 different teams. So
yeah, and then at that time,
girl fun.
At that time,
what's that?
Where are the 3 locations you got so far?
So it'll be September 15th at Birmingham High School, September 22nd at Jimmy's High School at Corona, and then Santa Ana on the 29th. And then the duels will probably be on October 6th at Cerritos. So unless we add another date or something like that, maybe, I don't know, another school wants to jump on board. I know Matt Furr's usually down because he likes to get a team. And it's just fun. I think the coaches have a good time with it. And the girls, that's kind of a coming out party too for a lot of the younger girls, because we had Valdivia was on there as a 7th grader, and she got to wrestle some state placers that had some good matches with and stuff like that. And so it's just a fun way to get the kids out there, kind of start the season off on a fun note. So before they get into those regular tournaments and stuff. So we're working on that together. So alrighty. But again, everybody, we're on Google Play, we're on iTunes. Please make sure that you follow us, like us, subscribe to us, all that good stuff. All right. Thanks a lot. Here we go, playing it out. Here, fellas.